Hi, guys. Welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Debbie, and I'm a money coach. And today I have one of my favorite guests who I haven't had on in forever, but she's highly requested. This is Jan from New York City Saves Money. Hi, Jan, how are you?
Hey, Debbie. Hi, everybody. Thank you, Debbie, for having me on. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, no, the pleasure's all mine. Every time I have you on, people are like, when's she coming back? When's she coming back? She coming
Oh,
back.
wow. Thank you so much.
You'll see it in the comments. They're going to start saying it again. I know it. So, so
Thank
today we're
you.
going to talk about, oh, it's true. So today we're going to talk about how to save money on groceries by using your stockpile. And I have to tell you, Jen, like I know you're going to talk more about this than me, and I have questions for you. I haven't had a stockpile in a long time. I used to coupon many moons ago, and it was heavy into couponing, and it was a time waste for me. And I did see the profit a little bit, but not enough to like justify the time. So my stockpile went from like something pretty big to something that is just like extra bucks at CVS. I'll get like mouthwash for free. I'll get shampoo, conditioner, really like inexpensive and things like that. So those supplies I have in like my stockpile in my garage. But I don't have much food in there. So I'd love to get your input as to like how you see savings and why you think a stockpile is important.
We'll dive deep into this. I know you have a bunch of questions for
I
me.
do. I do. As soon as we started talking about it, I was like, I know exactly what I'm going to ask you. Okay. So I have them all written down in front of me so I don't forget anything. So the first one is like, why do you think it's important to start to create a stockpile?
Okay, well, I'll explain why it happened with me. I am a New
Mm-hmm.
Yorker. It's not just the title in my name, but I am a New Yorker, a native New Yorker. And unfortunately, many of us, I have to say it, seem to think that nothing bad can happen here, like in terms of, long term. Oh, we got the store down the block and this and that. But that's not true because we went through when we had Superstorm Sandy, we were out of power here for 5 days and nights. And
Oh, no.
thankfully, my mom and I, we were ready. We always have a stockpile of food regular in the regular kitchen, if you will, for at least 2 weeks. That's
Mm-hmm.
normal. That's always. But as time went on, I said, I have to start getting serious about like stocking away for at least 1 to 2 to 3 months. It's just for me, for by myself. So it's a
Okay.
different world, when it's a family of one versus a family of two, a family of four. It is a
Mm-hmm.
completely different ball game in terms of quantity. But because bad things can happen even in New York, a matter of fact, Debbie, you may recall about maybe 6, 8 weeks back, there was that crazy rain and flooding all over the place, and
Mm-hmm.
it affected
Mm-hmm.
many places in Jersey and in New York.
Mm-hmm.
So no one is immune from a power outage, and it could
Mm-hmm.
be X number of days long. So therefore, I said, you know what? I am just going to really just start getting serious. I call myself a level 3 stockpiler. What does that mean, Debbie? That means that I'm not an expert by any stretch of the imagination, but a person that has an ongoing goal.
Got it. In the beginning of the pandemic, I don't know how it was with you, but over here in New Jersey, which she's in New York and I'm in New Jersey, like if I could put my hand out the window, I could say hi to her. Uh, um, in the beginning, it was people talk about like the toilet paper and things like that, but there was like I really felt it. Like I felt like I couldn't get groceries for my family. It was a point where like everything was pick up or delivery as far as the groceries. Like that's how it started here. But no matter what I did, no matter if we tried going into the store, if I did the delivery or the pickup, we couldn't get those. Like milk was for a while. It was a few weeks we didn't have milk. Eggs, same thing. But the biggest part, like the part I thought really affects the most is meat and chicken. Like you couldn't get any of it. So I had to come up with meals based upon what we had and the little bit that we could get. And I had to also get strategic as far as like when we placed the grocery order. I was staying up till 1 o'clock in the morning because the stores here wanted to do it online. And so at 1 o'clock in the morning, they would refresh their screen to allow you to select the time where you can go pick up the groceries, and you never knew what you were going to get. So I could have, I have a family of five. So we usually spend like 180 because we're on, like we budget and meal plan. So when I was going, and I had my list, and I paid for it online and everything. Next thing you know, I'd go and they 3 bags of food, and that's it. Like that's all that they had. So I budgeted for it and I saved for it, and I have a deep freezer in the freezer, like in my basement, excuse me. And so I pile like chicken meat, and I also create I don't know if you would call it a stockpile, but I also create dishes. Like whenever I cook like a pasta, like a big pasta, I'll do an extra one and put it in the freezer. That's my backup of food, because like I
Wonderful.
still, every time I see that one of those things are not like what I got from my groceries, I go my mentally I go back there, because really with little for a few weeks, and it was really scary. So when you're talking about that kind of emergency, we didn't have power for 5 days either with Sandy. For me, my emergency, like when I think about that, I think about the beginning of the pandemic, because it was this year.
Yes, and not to mention, in general, there could be any time and any place in history and anywhere an interruption in some sort of service that may
Yeah.
halt deliveries or slow things down, as
Mm-hmm.
evidence in general in life. So I look at it this way: if I'm going to err, why shouldn't I err on the side of caution?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I
Absolutely.
rather, be precautious than be
Mm-hmm.
caught without.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. No. Absolutely. So so is that what made you decide to start a stockpile? Like thinking about an
Well,
emergency and
actually, I saw,
having a snack?
no, no, actually, I saw signs of changing going on in general. I'm a news watcher. I pay attention to things. And just in general, I said, Janet, start stepping it up. I'll tell you something that'll make you laugh. I already got my Thanksgiving stuff in, except for the turkey.
Oh wow, really? Oh, you're on
Yes,
it.
meaning like well, I love my cranberry sauce. I love my stuffing. I already
Mhm.
got that in. That's sitting in the stockpile. I didn't want to keep it I call it my concurrent kitchen. I didn't want to keep it
Uh-huh.
in my current kitchen because I don't want to be tempted to eat Thanksgiving on Halloween type thing. But I put it away.
You're not stocking up on candy. You're stocking up on Thanksgiving stuff
Oh, no,
already.
no, 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 because I love things like the stuffing and the cranberry. So I have that
Yeah,
already. I have Thanksgiving peace of mind already.
that's great. That's great. I remember when I was young, my mom sent me to the supermarket, and it was the day of Thanksgiving for a few hours in the morning. And she sent me because she was out of gravy. And I grabbed the last can of gravy, and some lady came and like literally grabbed it out of my hand. And I was kind of like
You're
frozen.
kidding.
I'm like, oh no, no. It was kind of like the Black
No.
Friday. Like it was kind of like Black Friday shopping when you see like people fighting. And I thought to myself, am I really gonna have a conflict with about a can of gravy? I was like, I just looked at her. I was like, if you want it that bad, take it. And as I'm leaving, one of the clerks at the store said to me, like, come here, like we have extra we're about to put out. Like here, have some more. And I was like, thank you, I
Wow.
appreciate it. And they put in like a half-hour line for like 3 little cans of gravy. I was like, thanks, mom. Yeah, so when you said that, it brought me to that. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a good idea to
What a
start
memory.
now.
And that
I'll
is
never forget.
crazy.
I'll never forget it. I was a high schooler, and I'm like, where's gravy? Because I mean, I didn't cook back then, and I'm like,
The
where's
lady was
gravy?
like,
Mom,
I want my gravy and I want it now.
this lady just like, I was frozen. I was like looking at my hand, like, did she just snatch it out of my hand? I'll never. No.
Well, that's why it's not a bad idea for a person that loves it
Yep.
that much to consider in October to pick it up
Yep.
now.
Avoid the lines, avoid the crowds. Absolutely,
That's
absolutely.
it.
So me thinking about money all the time, as I know you do with your channel. Which, by the way, if you guys aren't subscribed to her channel, please check her out. I'm gonna leave the link down below. Jan is fantastic. You something from her channel.
Oh, you are just way too kind. I love your
And it's
channel.
true.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you. So my mind always goes to money. So do you feel that having a stockpile saves you money?
Yes. And I'll tell you
Yes.
why. The fruits of my
Mm-hmm.
labor at level 3. I'm a level 3
Mm-hmm.
stockpile, beginner, like I'm like a
Mm-hmm.
toddler, go right before preschool type person. That's how I'm defining it. But I see the
Mm-hmm.
fruits of my labor about to pay off, and how and why. Because I
Mm-hmm.
have all of the dry goods staples that I need. I get the stuff,
Okay.
and this is what a person considering doing this needs to do: get what they use, get what their
Mm-hmm.
family enjoys, and what you actually really use and need. So in my case, right now, I have $100 worth of stuff in dry goods. Right now, all I need to, continuously focus on are like my frozen foods and a couple of fresh produce. Other than that, I mean, I think it's really cool that I get to just concentrate on those elements right now because I have enough of my concurrent of the dry goods. And even if I ran out of that, I could run to my stockpile, to my pantry. So
You know, I
yes,
didn't
the
ask.
fruits of my labor are beginning to pay off. Yes.
Now I didn't ask you this, but again, money. I have an extra question that I didn't plan on asking you, but
That's
it
okay.
just popped in my mind as you're talking. So, like, how did you start coming up with it? Was it like little bit of time, or did you decide to take like a certain
Okay.
amount of money and do it?
Okay, here's the thing. I've been watching a channel well over a year, and if it's okay if I may mention,
Yeah.
she's a fellow you love her. You maybe you know her. She's a fellow Jerseyan, and her channel name is At Home with Lynn Wilson.
You turned me on to
She is
her. Yes.
so amazing. She has a video called Starting a Stockpile. If I may ask you to be so kind to link that up in your
Of
description,
course.
I
Yeah.
absolutely. And I watched it and it inspired me. So Lynn wants to get together one day with me for lunch. Yay! So I hope to Lynn one day, and to you too one day, because neighbors. But
Yes.
the thing is this: she starts off with reality. She shows like 5 single dollar bills and how we can work with that starting off, and defines so easily, so clearly. That was she was my true inspiration to get the ball rolling. Yes.
I'm ready. Like, if I'm gonna start a stockpile, like I'm gonna take like $10 to $15 a week and like see if I can
Yeah.
dedicate that towards like building it up.
That's
Because like
that's a
again, like
generous
mine.
amount. $5, I guess
Yeah.
$5 for one person. That makes sense in your case. Yeah.
Yes. Again, thinking about budgeting, because like I said, I have like shampoo, conditioner, mouthwash, things like that. But I don't have any food, so I really should start that. Absolutely. Um, so since you started your stockpile, have you been able to see like a difference, like with maintaining, like still continuing to save money with that stockpile that you have? So you started saving
I'm not going to
and
lie.
continue.
I'm not going to lie.
Mm-hmm.
This is my first month because I didn't start getting
Okay.
serious about doing this till about the last 3 months. So I have $100 of value that costs me about 60 or 70. So I think of
Okay.
value. So when I say $100, I don't mean I forked out $100. I mean I got the best prices. If I could get a buy one get one free, if I could get something, on a coupon, somebody gifted me with something in my makeshift pantry. It goes, and we could talk about that, how I did that in a New York City apartment, if you like, as far as space goes. Because I'm sure you're probably curious, how does a person, in a tiny space do it? Are you there? Oh, I think we're getting a frozen screen. Oh, we'll come back, I'm sure. Anyway, I'll speak in case he comes right back. Anyway, if you're interested to know how a person can do this, hi, Deb.
Hi. Yes. I don't know
Deb,
what happened. I
we
lost
have
you.
two Debbies, and I kept speaking, so
You did?
who's ever
Oh no.
watching it will still get to see. We'll still get to see. This
I'm
happened
so
with Steve and I once.
I don't know what
Sorry,
happened. I'm so
guys.
sorry. Yeah.
What I was just going to mention to you, Debbie, I'm sure you're curious. If a person lives in a small space, I have a spare guest bedroom, so I left half of the guest bedroom with the bed and the end table and their little amenities, that area. But I took the other half of the guest bedroom, and I have a nice and easy, just put it together, plastic shelving unit. And as time goes by, I'll get another one, and I'm keeping it neat and careful. I like the open shelves better than boxes
Yeah.
because I like to be able to see and to group what I am using. It makes it that much more easier. So basically, anybody with a wall, if you have a wall and you could spend about $20 on a plastic shelving unit, you could do it. You're good to go.
Wow. That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
I have like what I have in my garage is just it's a shelving unit, but I did get like the clear totes because since it's in the garage, things can get like dusty in there and stuff. My husband like does his like, he has a little bench where he does like, like woodwork and stuff. So
Yes.
for me, I have it closed and sealed. So, but yeah, no, that's a great idea. And it saves you money. You don't have to go out and get any kind of system.
It
You
does.
can just
And the
get started.
beautiful part is it's a walk-in. It's not like I have everything in a closet. I'm like,
Nice.
wait a minute, I just created a walk-in pantry here. It's my happy place. I've been shooting some videos from there. You'll see them in a not so distant future.
Nice.
But the bottom line is anyone, I mean it, I promise you, anyone could do it. If a person in a relatively small New York City apartment can do it, anyone can do it.
That's great. No, that's great. So now, as far as like what grocery items do you stockpile the most? Like, are there certain ones that you stay away from, and
Yeah.
what do you prefer?
Yes. Okay, everything is dependent upon you and your family's needs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it might look really cute if I have 5 pound sack of flour on my pantry shelf. It might look good camera worthy. I don't need 5 pound sack of flour.
Yeah.
So for
Yeah.
me, some people love to eat dried beans. I don't care for dried beans.
Mm-hmm.
I like maybe a bag of lentils. Everybody's different. So you get what you use. But what do I recommend?
Yeah.
I recommend even at level 3, toddler stage, buy things in cans that are complete meals. Should
Okay.
something go wrong, for example, like I do enjoy that, beef stew from that company that's all done up.
Yeah.
A can of beef stew with everything in it. Or like, those certain chunky style soups, things that are complete, or those spaghetti and meatball type can items. So can items are very high on my list. They last long. They're great. I do have a lot of pancake mix because a friend gifted me with that. And that's totally fine because I constantly mention pancake mix in many of my recipes.
You do. I love that. I love how like, again, you guys, if you're not following Jan, you have to. But one of the things when you start doing a recipe, all of a sudden you're like, and then I use pancake mix, and I'm like, what? Like, and then at the end it looks great. And then, or if you're talking about a recipe and you say it, like I'm like, I've never thought of that. Like, to me, pancake mix is for pancakes, So no,
and
that's great.
also, thanks, Debbie. And canned vegetables and canned fruits, things you actually like and use. That's the biggest thing to remember: what your family likes, what your family uses. If your family doesn't like white rice and prefers the one that's already done up, that you just mix together, that's what you get. That's that's the thing. I recommend crackers as a bread substitute. If you run out of bread and there's a disruption, trucks cannot get into the city for whatever reason, things like crackers, things like that work out really, really great. But do include a sweet treat. Debbie, you're not going to believe this. I have 2 boxes, 2 kits of a instant cheesecake mix that requires no baking.
Really?
So 2 of those kits. Yeah, it's by the Jell-O company. No, this is not a sponsored ad. It is by the Jell-O company. It's a cheesecake mix that has everything in it, even the graham crackers. You do not need to bake it. Put it away. Something goes wrong, you still may have a sweet tooth, and keep shelf-stable milk. That's very important.
Yes. That's one thing. My little one wasn't very fond of it, but my husband, once things started going really bad, he went to Amazon. He bought dried eggs and dried milk, and then my husband tried putting it in her cereal, and there's nothing more honest than a toddler, and she was like, "Yeah, this is yucky." She's like, "This is yucky." We're all like, I thought it was fine.
Well, I understand. I agree
so funny,
with
like,
the kid
that,
thing.
it brought me back to her. She was like.
But the one that's in a carton that's already
no, his was powdered one. That's different.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure the
powdered ones, those are great for recipe ingredients, in my opinion.
Okay.
So it's good to have.
When you mentioned the flour and you said like you don't stock up on flour,
I don't work with flour, but I do buy pre-done cake mixes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's good. Like I got a couple of spice cake mixes and stuff like that. Because there are ways to make breads with them. You can use a half a box. It's a long story, but you could get a lot. You can make cookies out of a cake mix. You can make breads out of a cake mix. You could do a lot from boxed cake mix, one simple ingredient.
I learned that from you.
Yes.
You. Yeah. Yes. I remember we were doing a show and we were talking about like things that we like to buy. And I was like, yeah, when you said pancake mix, I said, yeah, I have that. And you're like the instant one that you just add water. And I was like, No, mine's the one you add the eggs and the milk to it. You're like, no. I'll forget that. But when you mentioned the flour, I was really surprised that, like, again, going back last year to the beginning of the pandemic, like when things were really like we were scarce, flour, you couldn't get it anywhere. You couldn't even
Right.
get it on Amazon. You couldn't get it anywhere. And I was just like, oh, like,
Good
people are really
point.
resourceful. Like, people really thought in the beginning, like, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make my own bread, or I'm gonna, bake, and so they really stocked up on it. I couldn't find it anywhere. Not that I really needed
That's
it, but
right.
it was it was one of the things I thought I was gonna get really simple, and then I realized they were out.
You know what,
Mm-hmm.
Debbie? It reminds me that when we really need to step up to the plate, we
Mm-hmm.
can do it. We
Yeah,
really, really can.
absolutely. Yeah, and I was really
But doing it
I
this
found it
way, I
interesting.
did it gradually. Oh, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
What did you say?
No, I was just gonna say I
Oh,
found it
okay.
interesting during that time to see what was like not in the shelves and
Oh,
why. You
I
know?
take my hat off to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Believe you me.
Yeah.
The thing is with me, I do stick to a little bit of a schedule on this. I do stick to the $5 rule per
Mm-hmm.
haul. Whether the
Gotcha.
haul is delivered to me, whether I go and pick it up myself, doesn't matter
Mm-hmm.
how. It matters when. Whenever I have the haul, that's the time I will set that $5 aside and say, you know
Mm-hmm.
what? Yes, I'll get this can done. And you don't even feel the pinch.
Yeah.
Because if you keep doing it all the time, a little bit done consistently, like
Mm-hmm.
saving money,
Yes.
goes far.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. I like 2 years ago, like I started really grilling and getting into grilling in the summertime, and I love it. So, but
Hmm.
I don't want to buy just like the regular ground beef. I wanted to go the organic side because I just found like the flavor was better and it's healthier. Somewhat people say yes or no to it, but to us, like, we preferred it, but it was more expensive. So what I did is I took $5 from each week that bless you.
Chew,
Oh,
excuse
bless
me.
you. No problem. I took $5 from each week for a few months, and I bought a pack of the organic meat that I wanted, and I put it in my freezer and like in the back so I wouldn't use it. And then this summer, like, I didn't have to buy one time. I saved so much money because I always felt the pinch during the summertime because I want to grill when we're outside. This year, nothing. It was seamless. It was great.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful point.
Hmm.
There's another thing that just came to my mind, if you don't mind me mentioning.
Yeah.
You know how I talk about the fat cat and skinny chicken time of the
Yes.
month? I try to bridge the
Yes.
two together. Okay.
Hmm.
We need to do a middle of the month interruption, an intervention. So I call it mid-month strategy. It's a new thing. And
Okay.
having the stockpile now reminds me, anyone who has an active stockpile and
Hmm.
wants to take a break from going to the grocery store, you paid for these items already.
Hmm. Hmm.
Rotate your items, work with the oldest stuff that you have, and try to surround your meals for just 1 week out of every single month. Can you imagine saving $80 to $100 a month and
That
using
would be
that money for other stuff?
that.
So by shopping your pantry
Hmm.
and the timing mid-month
Hmm.
so that you sail right into the end of the month.
Yeah, that's amazing. That would be amazing. I know my clients, like, when I go over their budget with them and everything, like, we look at like how much can you save, and then they always have a plan with that money. It's not even like it stays in the savings account or anything. It's like, no, I'm gonna take this much, I'm gonna throw it at the debt, or I'm gonna throw it at our emergency fund. So having an extra $100 a month would be like life changing. It really could be life changing.
It is life changing
That's
because
twelve hundred
for
dollars at the end of the year.
yes, that's it.
Mhm.
And not
Yeah.
only that, you're saving on gas, which right now I'm not getting
Uh,
into it, but let's just say it's a lot of money.
let's not.
No, we won't. We won't because we really,
Yeah.
but we know what we know. The thing
Yes.
is, and that's for any time. If we could save gas at any time,
Hmm.
why not? You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Why not? Yeah. Exactly. Which
not
is
to
which
mention
leads.
time, effort, and energy,
Yes. No. Absolutely. Which
and
which
even
which
sometimes
is.
sanity.
Oh, I tell you, sometimes time saving things are just as much valuable to me as money saving tips. Because that way at
Absolutely.
least you have peace of mind and you have more time, which we all need. Um, you almost answered a question, but I want to ask it anyway.
Oh, I'm
Um,
sorry. What was that?
no, 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 no. I'm glad you did. Like, I feel like you answered it, but I want to make sure, like, so for people that are watching. So, like, how do you avoid anything expiring in your pantry and in your
Okay,
and in your
like I said,
stockpile?
I'm new at this, so
Mm-hmm.
I officiated my stockpile in about mid-August. So
Okay.
I know for the rest of the year
Mm-hmm.
that in mid-August I'm gonna, just keep going back to the stuff from that time. Again, putting the newest stuff that I buy in the back. Keep rotating your stuff, and you really won't have a problem. In my estimation, there goes the bird clock again. I believe that, canned things obviously have a longer shelf life than other things. Crackers have a shelf life of about 3 to 6 months. Believe it or not, crackers do not last as long as what people think they do.
Okay.
Something like 3 to 6 months, if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, like, you get a feel for it, but definitely be aware of your inventory. You know what, Debbie? Even if it means writing it down, and keeping it like a little notebook, or putting stickers on your items. Again, going back to the At Home with Lynn Wilson channel, she will go over this kind of stuff way better than we could, describe in, a short amount of time, because she, really dives deeply into it.
When I had my stockpile and like years ago, and I was couponing and everything, I'd make sure like when I bought something, I'd put it in the back. So like the older thing was in the front. I knew someone that used to coupon like crazy, like was one of those extreme couponers, and well, actually her husband was, and so she got so upset because they had toothpaste that had expired because they had no system as to like how to rotate things, and for some reason he really thought that toothpaste, like if he got it free, he would get like 2 or 3, and then it went bad, and she was like, "Oh, that couponing and it went bad." Like toothpaste does expire. It does. But for me, like when I used to do that, I used to always put the new ones in the back, which pushes the old ones up, so nothing went to waste then. Yeah,
that's the trick.
So if anyone is interested in starting a stockpile, like you already said about the money, like would you recommend, like, like obviously they start little by little, but do you have any tips for anyone that wants
little by little is the way to go, and don't do it during panic shopping time. Well, I don't like panic shopping for anything. But when, during nice, quiet moments, you have that opportunity. Here's another thing that I want to mention. Sometimes you get a letter in the mail that something suddenly got more expensive and you weren't ready for that. So you have to immediately pay that new change.
Yeah.
If you have your groceries ready for you, at least it buys you a little time to get your numbers together.
Yes.
So you're really sitting on a little bit of, I actually believe it's a budget buffer. A stockpile, a food stockpile is a budget buffer. Not to mention, like you mentioned, your shampoos and things of that nature. I'm going to start focusing also on, I forgot to mention, I have a water stockpile. I have a paper towel stockpile. This is all, centrally located. I have 2 cases of water. Remember, it's just myself. 2 cases that I do not touch. They are there for emergencies. Anything else above that is for, again, I say concurrent use, But it's just painless. It's seamless when you do it during quiet times.
Yeah, absolutely. The last thing you want to do is panic. And it really got me thinking. That's why I got that deep freezer, because to me, it was like, I never want to feel that panic again of like not having, and then being I'm the one that does the grocery shopping. I'm the one that cooks for my family, and they're all looking at me, and I'm like,
I'll give you another example, Debbie. If my let's say my daughter stops over, she has a couple of kids and everything. It's she's very busy. She has to visits me. Donna, go in there. Take whatever you need.
Nice.
That's what parents love to do. We love to do that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you get to do that for your kids, even if they're adults, why not?
Absolutely. Well, this has been great, and I feel like you've answered everything, and hopefully anyone that's watching that wants to start doing a stockpile can take your tips and can start one soon, so then that way they're ready in case anything happens. Or like you said, cost of living increase. I have a video on that, and I'll link it down below, but my clients have seen their electricity bill going up. I'm hearing that gas bills are next in the next few months. The gas bill is majorly going to go up. We're going to get affected. So why not cut back on a category that we have control over, like groceries?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I so agree. And everyone can do it. They really, really can.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being on, Jan. It's always
thanks for having me here. I so appreciate you.
Oh, no, I appreciate you. And I can't wait for the comments of everyone asking when you're going to come back.
They're wonderful. You guys really rock. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And again, if you're not subscribed to Jan's channel, I'm going to link her channel down below. Please go check her out. If you want to learn how to save money, time, stress, she's your girl. So you're going to really enjoy her content. And if you guys need additional help from me and you want to talk to me about your budgeting needs and how I can help you save money, I'm going to leave a link to my calendar down below so that we can talk, schedule a call, and let's see how I can help you. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And again, Jan's channel's down below. And we'll see you next time on both channels.
Thanks,
Bye.
everybody. Thank you, Debbie.
Thank you. Of course. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.